I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go from Atlanta. Mark Nelson and Otto Cruz on the front row. Gerald Poole, Richie Joplin have the second row. Austin Ruskoff, Donald Double D Durance on the third row. Mark the Man Dantuma and Michael Whiting round out the field. As always, if you have a favorite driver in the field, don't forget to drop in the comments. Let us know who you're cheering for. A lot of these drivers do listen in. Love to know their fans are in the stands. And folks, don't forget it is doubleheader tonight. So after this, they will unload the 36-car field over at Texas. A lot of your favorite drivers from this group will be there. And that's going to be a big field at Texas, and things are going to get exciting. This is the new version of Atlanta, so the field is never going to break up. Everybody's going to be there inches apart, nose to tail, side by side, all night long. Hey, good evening, Kirk. How are you, buddy? All right, here we go. Pace car about to dive in. And here they come. Pace car is in. Mark Nelson leads them down into the zone, and green flag flies. They are down and away at Atlanta. Doing great, Kirk. A couple of great races tonight. Will we see you in Texas, buddy? Everybody still stacked up side by side. Back behind, Mark Nelson has clean track. Otto Cruz on the high side making a move. And Otto Cruz will lead lap one. His first race back out of retirement. And he leads the first lap. Otto is always tough to beat. It is great to see him out on track again. Richie Joplin right behind him in second. It does sound like Kirk Marble will be in the SMR race, as Richie Joplin just set the fastest lap. Now Michael Whiting has the fastest lap back in sixth. If not for a late race incident last week, Whiting was on track to be one of the podium finishers. Michael Whiting is the guy that hangs out in the back, stays within striking distance, and when you least expect it, he comes through the field out front. Zano set the fastest lap that time by This track not as hard on the tires, so we may see a couple more fast laps before the night is out. Auto Cruz out front continues to lead. Mark Nelson has moved into second. Mark Dantuma, Gerald Poole back behind. Mark up there on the high side. Apparently they had a very wild truck race here last night. In fact, word has it, they were telling Double D before the race to calm down a bit. Apparently things got a little wild with Double D. Now, comp caution tonight is at lap 40. Nelson looks under. Auto Cruz goes up the track, takes the lead. Was there contact? Taking a look down from the blimp. Mark right on his bumper. Oh, looks like Otto came down, thought he could shut the door, got a little bit of a love tap, and goes up the track. No harm, no foul on that one. Richie Joplin now has the lead. Otto already back up into second. Mark Nelson still sits there in third. Dantuma battling for third on the high side. Dantuma out 4 spots, takes it to third. The top 3 go single file. Double D hanging back for the moment as one of them, I think, Whiting, may have kissed the wall. But it was just a little bitty kiss, no big deal. Auto Cruz has reclaimed the lead. Otto's been retired so long, this might be the first time he's ever been on this version of Atlanta. Somebody else kissed the wall out of turn 2, that time on. Michael Whiting has moved down to the bottom line. It may have been him getting the wall again. They're back side by side out front, and don't look now. Dantuma has the lead. That I-line is definitely faster out of turn 4, but at the line, Dantuma had it. Interesting to note, points leader Mark Nelson, I think he actually did score 1 lap as the leader. So he did pick up the bonus points for that, but it was only the single lap. Dantuma now out front. If he can get the most laps, he can get the bonus points for that. 16 weeks into the season, Mark Nelson still has a big points lead. And Mark Nelson goes solo to the high side. Mark Dantuma in the lead. Now Ritchie into second. Mark Nelson in third. Ruskoff back in fourth. Gerald Poole now in fifth. Michael Whiting in sixth. Otto Cruz in seventh. Double D still in the draft, back in eighth. Double D might be the safest car on track at the moment. He is just lurking behind this field, waiting for the right time to make his move. Michael Whiting just set the fastest lap so far tonight. As the sun goes down and the track cools off, these guys are going to get faster. Track temperature currently 78 degrees, air temperature the same. %45 humidity out here that might be keeping those engines a little bit cooler. But it also makes that air a little bit thicker and harder to push through as Mark Nelson has reclaimed the lead. Otto Cruz has gone back to the back of the field. He's already making his way back up. Otto currently in fourth, third in line on the high side. Side by side, out front, Mark Nelson and Mark Dantuma. Nelson on that high line is pulling ahead. Looks like everybody for the moment kind of settling into a rhythm. Comp caution at lap 40. The drivers are looking at 50 to 52 laps on a tank of fuel tonight. So they will need one green flag stop after the comp caution, as Austin Ruskoff has made his way to the front. Ruskoff, remember, came in tonight fifth in points. Now 16 points behind Double D. He does get scored for leading a lap. That's going to be a huge help for him. Now he just needs to finish ahead of Double D and make it to the end. The drivers were reminded right before qualifying they only have one faster pair here tonight, so they got to play it a little bit safe. Michael Whiting down to the bottom. And Michael Whiting has come from the back to get to the front. But again, Mark Nelson up on that high line has the nose ahead. And it was Nelson at the line. But not by much. The top six all side by side. Gerald Poole has slid back just a little bit in seventh. Double D dropping back in eighth. Hey, good evening, Kevin. How are you, buddy? Kevin, I gotta ask, you've been going a while. How bad is the itch getting to get back out on track? That high line definitely seems to be the place to be here tonight. Every time Nelson has gone to that high line, he has found his way to the front. Otto Cruz dropping to the bottom. He's got some help. And it's Otto Cruz back to the lead with the big push from Richie. All the help on the high side left. Oh! Richie tried to slide up under Otto. Otto slams the door. Kevin, I can only imagine how bad you want to be back out here, buddy. Otto Cruz back out front. Dan Tuma leading the outside line with the push from Mark Nelson. Gerald Poole pulling back up, and Double D is falling out of the draft. Mark Nelson has slipped back into fifth. Gerald Poole in sixth. Ruskoff back in seventh as Otto Cruz and Richie Joplin continue to be out front. Hey, good evening, Brandon. Kevin, that has been a problem with Facebook for several days now. I've tried a bunch of different things. Don't have a solution yet. It's not only me, but it is frustrating. Now remember, when they reconfigured this track, everywhere on the track is several feet skinnier except for that front straightaway. And I'm willing to bet toward the end of this race, we see every inch of that straightaway being used. Drivers can now go all the way down. It's 5 wide on the track. Mark Nelson starting to build a run now on the bottom. He's got help from Austin Ruskoff. And Otto Cruz all alone up top. Yep, I do, Kevin. I appreciate it. Now, if you could figure out how to fix it, I'd love you forever. Michael Whiting and Mark Nelson now battling for the lead. Whiting up top has help from Dan Tuma coming. Nelson jumped to the high side. Now Ruskov to the bottom. And Ruskov out front. Will he be able to lead it at the line? He has not led an official lap yet tonight. But it looks like he'll get it done this time. And just a few laps away from the competition caution. It is still very much anybody's race. Top three go single file again, at least for the moment. Otto Cruz back there in fourth. Ruskov did lead a lap, but now Ritchie to the high side. Ritchie has no help. Otto Cruz closes back up to Ritchie's bumper. Looked like Otto may have given Ritchie a little bit of a bump at a turn two. Ritchie got a little squirrely, but holds on to it. You can definitely bump draft in these cars. You can definitely bump draft on the straightaway, but the smallest bump in the turn here could spell disaster. Them off into 3 and 4. They should be getting the caution this time by. It's going to be close at the line. Ritchie has it a lead. And the caution flies. And I'm not sure who was ahead at the moment of caution. Looked like Ruskov had the nose ahead, but as of right now, Ritchie is looking for the pace car, so he may hold on to it. Austin in second, Otto Cruz in third, Mark Nelson fourth, Michael Whining in fifth, Gerald Poole, Mark D'Antuma, and Double D round out the field. And folks, don't forget, it is a big doubleheader night. As right after this, the SMR X Series goes to Texas. Turn 1 and 2 are going to get exciting when 36 drivers try and dive into it 4 wide. Mark Nelson is staying out. Did he miss pit road entry? Not sure what happened with the points leader. Everybody else has made it to pit road, and everybody hits their pit stalls. Right sides up on everybody's car. And Ruskov is the first off pit road. D'Antuma coming out. Will Mark Nelson come in this time? He's only got about 10 laps worth of fuel. Yes, Mark Nelson is headed in. That will put, no, Austin's going to come in and top off. That'll put Mark Dantuma to the lead, followed by Otto Cruz. Let's see if we can get a word with the man who just came out of retirement, Otto Cruz. Hey, Otto, it's Doug. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Buddy, I have to ask, how are you feeling? You've been in retirement for quite a while. How does it feel to be back in the car?
I feel a little rusty, but it's fast. We're able to run pretty much to the front whenever we want, and just kind of having fun right now. You know, it all comes down to the last couple laps on these things.
It definitely does, and I have to say, for a guy who's rusty, you sure have led a lot of laps here tonight, and we've seen you come up through the field once or twice. I mean, you don't look rusty.
Well, I appreciate that, Doug. It's good to be back out here, man. It's good to be back behind the wheel.
Well, it's great to see you back out on track, man. Good luck tonight, buddy.
Thanks, buddy.
Otto Cruz back in the car. Mark Dantuma will start out front. Otto Cruz alongside him. Richie Joplin, Gerald Poole on the second row. Double D, Michael Whiting on the third row. Austin Ruskoff and Mark Nelson round out the field. Here they come through 3 and 4. Pace car about to dive in. There he goes. Pace car shoots the pit road. And green flag is back in the air. The top four get away like a bullet. The cars behind a little bit slow on the restart. They were single file. But Double D and Michael Whiting, a little bit of a gap there. Whiting already closing back up with help from Ruskoff. Nelson is coming back in. That is weird. We'll try and keep an eye on Mark. He's limping it down pit road. He did get 4 tires and fuel under caution. Not sure why he's back in unless he got a penalty on the restart. Mark is in his stall, not going up for tires. It looks like a penalty for Mark Nelson. We'll try and get an update in a bit. Meanwhile, Otto Cruz out front. Richie Joplin right there with them. Mark Dantuma. Double D and Gerald Poole right behind. Austin Ruskoff, Michael Whiting still out back. Whiting, other than his one run to the front, has stayed at the back, giving himself time to react if something pops off ahead. Michael has been back there all night. But as we saw earlier, when he wants to make the move, he can get to the front. There's Otto Cruz back at the front. Cody, thank you so much for the Twitch sub, buddy. Well, I appreciate it, man. You just worry about getting to feeling better, bud. Mark Dantuma underneath Otto for the lead. Double D, Richie Joplin side by side back behind. Mark Nelson is back out on track, but is now a lap and a half down and likely going to end up 2 laps down very, very soon unless he gets a caution. Auto Cruz, Mark Dantuma continue to swap the lead. It was Auto at the line. I do believe Double D, Gerald Poole, and Michael Whiting, the only 3 drivers who have not officially led a lap. Double D, though, back up toward the front, could take it at any moment. Otto getting help from Richie Joplin back behind. Otto continuing to lead here. Austin Ruskoff at the moment has one of the best seats in the house. What do you say we hop on board and see what it's like going around Atlanta? Out of turn 4 down the front straightaway. You see, just like we see at Daytona and Talladega, these cars are not planted. They're moving around. Despite the additional downforce they have at tracks like this, they still do not have a ton of grip. Factor in the speeds they're running and the air around. The air also moving these cars around a lot. Plus, they have to keep an eye on those temperatures all night. Get tucked in behind somebody too long, and your engine may overheat. Auto Cruz is back up front with help from Richie. But Dantuma and Double D back behind. And Mark Nelson is about to lose another lap. He really needs a caution here. That penalty was a huge, huge setback for Mark. Mark Nelson did come into the night with a big points lead, 37 points, but at the moment he's 2 laps down. Mark Dantuma second in points, currently 3rd on track. Dantuma could close the gap late in the season. Double D kissed the wall, manages to hold on to it. Gerald still trying to fight to lead a lap here. We talk about how good Gerald is at these draft races, but again, the last 6 to 8 months, these races have not been his friend. He's up here fighting for the lead now, though. Could he get back to victory lane tonight? A little swirly on the bottom for Ruskov. Otto does have the lead up top. And it was Otto at the line that time. Gerald getting as low as he can to try and get that lap lead. Everybody more or less settling in. Remember, and Gerald Poole leads that time by. Remember, they will still need to make one more stop tonight. Everybody was on pit road, lap 41, to top off on fuel and 4 tires and fuel for the comp caution. Based on the numbers we heard, 50 to 52 laps on a tank of fuel. We'll see him in around lap 94. Some of them likely to come in a little bit earlier, but this, like Daytona and Talladega, you've got to come in with friends or you're going to lose a lot of time. I believe that was Double D we just saw kissing the wall again. No, that was Dan Tuma. Gerald Poole and Otto Cruz have switched lines. Gerald, Austin, and Whiting now at the high line. Gerald crossed back to the bottom. Is he just going to get in line and settle? Nope. Richie drops to the bottom. Otto all alone. And Richie Joplin leads that time by. Now Richie all alone for the moment. Gerald to the high side. Oh, Gerald gets the wall. Ruskov had nowhere to go. Now they have lost that lead pack, and likely Gerald has some right side damage. Austin did a miraculous job of not making that problem worse. See if we can get a better look at the side of Gerald's car here. Do see some scratches, but I don't see any significant aero damage. Gerald and Austin now 2 seconds behind that lead pack. Otto Cruz jumped to the high side all alone. Michael Whiting closing back up on him. Will he go with Cruz? Whiting has been hanging out at the back all night. I do believe everybody has led a lap except for Whiting and Double D at this point. And at this point, most laps led is going to be between Otto Cruz and Richie Joplin, as Mark Nelson is a lap down. Actually, now a lap down as he got himself past the leader and brings Gerald to the front. Now Mark has to be crossing his fingers if one of these guys has a problem, as Mark and Mark have started to pull a bit of a gap. Mark Nelson not on the lead lap, but out front, open for a caution. On the restart, Mark Nelson was 2 laps down. If the caution flew in this moment, it would get him back on the lead lap. Richie Joplin is not going to make it easy for him. Richie and Otto down on the bottom. And Richie leads it that time by. It is still very much anybody's race here at Atlanta. Gerald Poole, Austin Ruskoff about 2.7 seconds behind that lead pack. They have started closing back in just a little bit. Another couple of cars hoping the caution will fly. We have yet to see a caution here tonight other than the comp caution. We have not seen a caution due to an incident yet. Will they make it to the checkered without one? They're 3 wide at the line. Dan Touma now stuck in the middle. He is going backwards. Oh, his car got a little squirrely there in the middle. I have been told that if you're stuck in the middle here in Atlanta, that outside line taking air off of you pulls that back end around. It is definitely tricky to hold on to it in the middle here. Michael Whiting now out front. It's going to be close. Will Whiting lead this time? No. Dan Touma leads. Austin Ruskoff has taken over, leading this group behind. But that switch has cost him a bit of time. They're now 3.9 seconds behind. Everybody is within the window. They can go the distance from here on fuel. But if you're Mark Nelson, Austin Ruskoff, or Gerald Poole, you are hoping for a caution right now. Auto Cruz currently scored in second. Richie Joplin in third. Double D in fourth. Michael Whiting in fifth. Ruskoff and Poole back behind. They are now over 4 seconds behind the lead pack. They gain a little bit of time, but they lose even more. They just can't seem to find a rhythm that'll get them back to the front. And we are just a few laps away from green flag pit stops. Remember, the driver said 50 to 52 laps on a tank of fuel, and you can pit alone here, but that'll be the end of your chances at the win. You really have got to pit with some help. Austin Ruskoff, Gerald Poole continuing to lose ground back behind, and it appears they're losing even more as here we go, first pit stops. Auto Cruz, Richie Joplin are headed in. Mark Dantuma still has the lead. Mark Nelson a couple laps down, staying ahead, hoping for that caution. Auto Cruz and Richie Joplin, man, the reconfiguration of this track, making that pit road even longer to get into. It definitely is a long, painful process getting to pit road here. Going from almost 200 miles an hour down to 55 for that long run around 3 and 4. And everybody else is headed in. Mark Nelson, Mark Dantuma, Michael Whiting, and Double D all in. Auto Cruz, Richie Joplin back out on track. Double D had a problem. Dantuma has had a problem. There's Dantuma as he heads toward pit road. Oh, he just had to lock the brakes up not to get into Nelson. Ended up having to go a little bit wide. Look like Durant's may have been pushing too hard as well. Just a bit wide through the grass. Hey, good evening, Jeff. How are you? It appears Michael Whiting, for some reason, also got a penalty. They're all on their way out, but it looks like all 4 drivers in that group got a penalty coming to pit road. Holy cow. Otto Cruz and Richie Joplin just got a big hand. And Double D has had a problem as well. Let's see what happened to Durant. All right, here's Double D coming off pit road. Coming through 1 and 2, and oh, we got just enough of the banking that it sent the car for a slide. He quickly recovers, but still a big setback coming off pit road. Otto Cruz, Richie Joplin now out front. Have a 6-second lead over third place Gerald Poole. Austin Ruskoff in fourth. About 1 second back at closing with help from Mark Nelson. Mark Dantuma now in fifth. Michael Whiting right on his bumper in sixth. Double D back in seventh. And Mark Nelson a couple of laps down now, back in eighth. As Austin flies by Gerald Poole. Ruskoff now to third. Leader's about to pick up Double D. And that is going to put him another lap down. A heartbreaking night for Durant. And this could be exactly what Ruskoff needed to have happen here tonight. Ruskoff currently in third. Durant's back in seventh. He will definitely close that points gap. Jeff, how's your weekend been, buddy? Otto Cruz, Richie Joplin out front by 6.1 seconds, but the group behind hooked up working together. They are closing the gap. "20 laps to go. I'm almost afraid to ask what you mean by that, Jeff. But curiosity got the better of me, so what was Friday night? It's been a good weekend. Kevin, quite a few drivers got pit road penalties. Mark Dantuma and Double D both went off into the grass as they were getting onto pit road. They had to slow down to check up for the cars ahead. And I believe Mark Nelson and Michael Whiting both got speeding penalties. They didn't have any other issues. Well, Jeff, I'm glad you had a good one, buddy. You're not in jail. That's always a win. Austin Ruskoff in third, now less than 5 seconds back and gaining quickly, but with 16 laps to go, he's got a lot of work to do and not a lot of time to do it. Last time by, he was only 0.2 of a second faster than the leader. He's going to have to pick the pace up. The second group was gaining quite quickly, but that lead pack hooked up, got Double D with them, and they went from being a 2-car pack to a 3-car pack, which has helped dramatically. Double D a big bobble down the front stretch. But it does appear Richie hooked right on Otto's bumper. Austin still closing in on the leaders. Now 4.6 seconds back. And wouldn't it be something tonight? Otto Cruz's first race out of retirement. He hasn't raced in over a year. Finally comes out of retirement. The first race back, he qualifies in second place. Could he pull off the win? Austin about 4.5 seconds behind the leaders. Folks, don't forget, it's just the first race of the night. SMR X Series is going to Texas right after this. And we do expect a 36-car race at Texas to be extremely exciting. Plus, a lot of your favorite drivers out here tonight will be in that race, including Austin Ruskoff, Mark Dantuma, Donald Durant. Richie Joplin is a maybe. And rumor has it, Gerald Thanos Poole may be joining SMR. to go for Auto Cruz. Can he get it done here tonight? Austin still closing in, but 4 seconds back with just over 8 laps to go. He needs to gain well over a half-second a lap to get it done. And last time by, Austin only 0.3 of a second faster than the lead pack. Jeff, you mean C12 Wednesday night? Auto still has the lead, 6 to go. Austin 3.25 seconds back. He's getting closer and closer. Richie Joplin on Auto's bumper with 5 to go. Will he let him have it, or will Richie make him work for it? Michael Whiting still in 5th as Mark Dantuma in 6th on his bumper. Mark Nelson, after his penalty on the restart, back in 8th. Double D has had a heartbreaking night between a penalty and problems getting off of pit road. He is back in 7th. And Auto Cruz has put on a show here tonight. 3 laps to go. He has led the most laps, qualified in 2nd, and has had one heck of a run. Oh, sorry, Jeff. I didn't know what you meant. Good luck, buddy. Let me know how you did. 2 laps to go in Atlanta. And here we go, out of turn 4. Auto gets the white flag one more time around. Richie still in his bumper. Auto is definitely looking in his mirror closely. Richie jumps to the bottom down the backstretch. Durant goes up top with Auto. Auto lost the momentum. And out of turn 4, it's going to be close. Richie Joplin gets the win at Atlanta. Auto Cruz coming home in 2nd, and Austin Ruskoff pulls off 3rd. Let's talk to our top 3. Starting with Austin. Austin, man, it was a heck of a setback, but you really fought your way back up, and there for a while I thought you might catch him.
Yeah, we had a good little run going there at the end. Gerald got the wall there when we were up towards the front, and then I just got stuck behind him and told him let's just work together, try and get back up there. And then once the pit cycle came around, Mark got between us, and three of us just seemed to work really well together. I just made a mistake coming out turn 2 and got loose, and that killed our momentum.
It was still a heck of a charge there at the end, man. Your lap times were faster than theirs, and you guys worked really well together getting up through there. I think another 5-10 laps, you'd have been there.
Yeah, just another couple laps and just didn't make that mistake. We maybe could have got there, but either way, it was still a lot of fun.
Man, it was one heck of a race, one heck of a podium. Now go see if you can do it again.
Thank you, Doug.
Austin Ruskoff will be racing at Texas in just a few moments. Otto Cruz comes home in second. Otto, I have to admit, I was cheering for you, thinking you were going to pull it off. How much were you mirror driving that last lap watching Richie?
Oh, I wasn't mirror driving. I was just running the same line I've been running, just trying to run the middle through the corners. I knew he was going to get a run on me. It's kind of a sit and duck at that point. Once we got the lap car behind me, or behind us, it was he had help. But the lap car, he said he was going to go with me to try to pass him back, and he did. I made a run at it, come up about a half a car short, I think.
Man, if you'd made that run just a little bit sooner, it was definitely an awesome fight. And I think you led the most laps. I would say at the end of the night, I'd say you don't have any rust left.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Doug. It was good. It's kind of like riding a bike, I guess. It's good times.
It was definitely great to see you back out, and I hope to see you more soon, buddy. Great job.
Oh, you will. I think I'm going to make Sundays a habit, man.
I hope so, man. That'd be awesome to see you again every week.
All right, Doug. It's good talking to you, bud.
You too, man. Great run tonight.
Thank you.
Man, it'd be awesome to see Otto back every Sunday. And now our winner, Richie Joplin. Richie, man, one heck of a run tonight and one heck of a move on the last lap.
Yeah, I lost so many races because of that. So I just sat back there and just cruised. I mean, I know I can race around all these guys real good. And I was just glad to be running with Otto. I mean, me and him drafted well. We raced well together and all that. And I hate to pass him on the last lap, but I had to take it.
Well, you definitely took it, man. It was a heck of a run tonight. And how worried were you watching the times, those guys closing in behind you?
I was a little bit worried, but I knew if I stayed right there with Otto and me and him don't fight with each other, we should be safe, I was thinking. But, boy, they was running us down. I mean, they was trying everything they could to get up there. So, hats off to them, run us down like they did.
Definitely was one heck of a run, but you guys managed to hold them off. A last lap pass puts you in victory lane, and, man, even bigger tonight. Mark Dantuma and Mark Nelson both having problems. The points gap in the top three is about to get a lot smaller.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to win a championship in this league. I've not done that yet. I mean, I've finished in the top 10 in the points last couple of times I've raced with them. So I wouldn't mind having a championship. But it's not over yet.
No,
I've still got a lot of races.
You definitely do, but, man, put on a show like you did tonight, you still got a shot. Great win. Congratulations. And now you can go pull off a win at Texas.
I don't know if I'm going to go over. That's a little late for me. I mean, now with my new job and stuff, so I have to kind of race what I can and all that.
Completely understandable, man. One heck of a win tonight. Congratulations, Richie.
Thank you, Doug.
Richie Joplin pulls off the win at Atlanta. And now, folks, we are headed to Texas. SMR X Series going to Texas Motor Speedway. Folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be back with you here in just a few moments. Stick around, everybody.